welcome back to our channel. This is season 4, episode 1. Hey, Tom.
Hey, RC Healthcare and Hospice. I'm Tom, the chaplain, and this is
Oksen, RCHC CEO.
Glad to see you today. We say Happy New Year, 2023.
Happy New Year, everybody.
We've already a few days into the new year, but it's always appropriate each day, and especially here in early January, to wish each other and one another and you God's best in your upcoming future, what I like to call the God future, our God future. And so we're thinking about this new year, and you know how people do, and they'll talk. How's it going for you so far?
Right.
This kind of thing. And
how did it start?
Yeah, how did it start? And what's happening? And are you getting what you want? What resolutions did you make?
Right. Do you still write those?
Resolutions?
Yeah.
No. I call New Year's disappointments. New Year's pipe dreams. No. But I do, speaking of that, writing things down, I brought a couple props today for our New Year's thought, and they're books. So I brought one of my journals, and I went 10 years back, 2013, and I thought I'd read, or not read, but at least look at a couple of notes from exactly 10 years ago today. So 10 years ago today, I was 53, and you were
25.
Yeah, 25, and life was different. RC Hospice did not even exist 10 years ago.
It was about to start.
It was, yeah. And you know better than I, because you were a part of that, the beginning, but 10 years ago. So here we are in January of 2013, and for me, I start reading things and I start realizing how many times boring, I guess I could say, my life is. I watched a football game, we ate spaghetti for dinner, it's freezing cold, the high was 27, or the low, 27, back in 2013, but not a whole lot momentous happened those days. So what I thought I'd do, just for the fun of it, is bring back 1983.
Wow.
Now, this is before he was even born. What year were you born?
87.
87. So I thought I'd, just for the fun of it, pull up this date in January from 1983, different days that we have, and here's this day from January of 1983. And again, I worked 8 hours. I was in my first church pastoring, but I had a job outside, and so I'm working. And here's what we had for dinner. We had Bible study that night. 10 attended. But by and large, I did write something here. So far, it says I have no complaints with January, 1983. Well, these writings remind me of the verse in Psalm 90. I always like this verse in the beginning of a year. It says, "Teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts to wisdom." So Oksen and I did a little thing before we started here today. Went online, and it's how many days have I been alive? And I put in Oksen's birth date first. And so, how many days you been on this earth?
It was 13,080.
13,080 or so. 13,000.
It's a lot of days.
When you say it like that.
What have I done with all those days?
Well, that's a good question. And then for me, it's the exact same thing, but 23,000 days, I believe we said.
Right.
Again, 23,000 days. What have I done? So many of those days have passed. And I say this because we work in hospice and in palliative care with people who have many more than even 23,000 days. Although sometimes we have some of our people that we work with, our patients, who have less than me.
Right.
It's the way life sometimes happens.
Right.
But for a large majority of our patients, they're well over 23,000 days even. And then Oksen makes that statement, and it's true. You think about it, as I number my days, and how many ever days are just plain days.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about the future as well, not just the past. These books make me think about the past. But a book like this makes me think about the future. Oh, let's look and see what's written in this book. Nothing.
Oh, that's good.
Blank. I heard someone once say, you may have a very spotted or dirty past, but your future is spotless.
Ooh, that's good.
I like it.
Wow.
And God helps us to write a future. So let's just open up here. Here's my January calendar for this year. And notice it's somewhat filled in. Today, filming. Mm-hmm. So here we are. So, but some of the future is blank. It has yet to be determined.
Who has control over that?
Well, to me, it's a twofold answer in order, in this order.
Yeah.
God and you. I think in the ultimate, God is the one in whose hand our lives are in control. He controls them. But I think secondly, we have a part to play. It's that verse in Proverbs, chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. It's a favorite go-to all the time, but especially here, that sort of answers your question. Verse 5 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. It's in his hands. But then, verse 6 says, in all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. God will show us the way, but we have to walk. It's like I heard somebody say one time, God gives us the nut, but we have to crack it. He gives us the work to do. So back to your question, who controls that? Well, God and me. God and you. And it's in that order, I believe, most especially.
I mean, if you think about it, what era you're born into, what family,
yep.
What's your height, what's your eye color.
No control.
What's your skin color.
I didn't control any of that.
I mean, even some genetics when it comes to our personalities.
Yes.
Our likes and dislikes.
Yes.
And sure, we can alter a lot of those things, but the core of us is really hard to change. And often when we change too much of ourselves, we don't like that.
No.
I mean, how often do you find people who learn to accept who they are?
Yep.
Learn to love themselves.
Yep.
Accept themselves, right?
And not to get too psychological here, but if I'm interested in change, the first step for me is to accept who I am and how God has made me.
Right.
Which is a great first step to then seeing how there's things that I might need to improve or change. Anyway, very interesting thought. And this is our New Year thought, which is our future is blank right now, and it's in God's hands. However, he gives us the pen
in our hands
that we're going to do the writing. We're going to fill in the story, as I have done. You and I, and you who listen, will do. You will write the story. God will look over your shoulder, may even give you a prompt or two, but you are the one that will live the life you live. I'm just pausing and thinking for a moment because I know there might be some of you out there watching this video and listening to Oksen and I talk together. And right now, you think you know your future. But in God's plan, we don't know what's coming this year, for the most part. And it could very well be, and I don't mean to scare or try and say something that's very negative, but it could very well be that you or a loved one will need the services of a hospice company like ours. That's one of the reasons we make these videos, so that people like Oksen and myself can offer you the opportunity to take advantage of RC Hospice and Healthcare.
And on that note, we hope you have a fantastic year, full of great memories with loved ones, families, and friends. But we don't know what the future holds. So if you do have a loved one who could possibly benefit from our services with hospice or palliative care, please feel free to give us a call. It would be our honor to give you information, to give you a free consultation, and if we could help someone that you love, that would be an honor to us. Our phone number is 916-858-1440. And people like Tom and our wonderful staff would be more than happy to help.
Happy New Year, God willing. Amen?
Amen.
Thank you.